The forbidden room in the middle of a giant silver moon far from Earth stood the Valari Academy, a place where alien children from many galaxies came to study science, history, and war tactics. The academy was full of sharp minds and strict rules. One rule was very clear. Do not enter room 17B. No one knew what was inside. The door was always locked. The label on it said, "Warning, human anatomy, highly dangerous." But rules often make curious minds even more curious. 3 alien girls, Leah, Sierra, and Vexa, couldn't stop thinking about that door. They were different species, but they were best friends. Leah had soft blue skin and glowing yellow eyes. Sierra had wings made of crystal. Vexa looked the most human. She had dark green hair and silver veins that glowed when she was nervous. One evening after class, the girls sat in their sleeping pod and whispered. "There's something strange about that room," Vexa said. "Why is it locked? Why is it dangerous?" "I heard a rumor," Leah replied. "They say it's where they keep the body of a dead human." "That's not true," Sierra said, her wings twitching. "Humans don't even come to this academy. We've only read about them in books." Just then, a loud voice echoed from the hallway. "All students report to the main hall. We welcome our first human guest." The girls looked at each other with wide eyes. In the main hall, standing under bright lights, was a young human boy. He looked about 16 Earth years old. His name was Michael Carter. He wore a simple black suit and had short brown hair. His eyes scanned the crowd of aliens calmly. He didn't look scared. Most aliens had never seen a human up close. Some whispered, some stared, others laughed. "Look at how soft his skin is," one alien said. "He has no claws, no fangs. How is he dangerous?" But Michael said nothing. He simply bowed slightly and smiled. The headmistress, a large lizard-like creature with golden scales, spoke to the students. "This human is here for study exchange. He will be treated with respect." The girls could barely hide their excitement. A real human in the academy. They had to know more. Later that night, the girls sneaked out of their room. They followed Michael from a distance. He walked alone, his hands in his pockets, down the silver corridors of the academy. And then, he stopped at room 17B. The girls froze behind a pillar. Michael looked at the lockpad, entered a code, and the door hissed open. He stepped inside and the door began to close. Without thinking, Sierra flew forward and stopped the door with her wing. "Quick!" she whispered. The 3 girls slid inside quietly. Inside, the room was dark, cold, and full of strange lights. Screens showed images of human muscles, bones, brains. There were glass tubes, books, and training equipment. Michael walked to the center, placed a bag on the table, and did something unexpected. He took off his shirt. The girls gasped silently. They had never seen anything like it. His body was lean but strong. There were scars on his back like he had been cut before. His skin looked soft but unbreakable. Every muscle moved with purpose. His heart was visible through the scans on the screen. It beat fast but steady. "He looks perfect," Leah whispered. "He looks like a weapon," said Vexa. Michael began stretching, training, punching a target dummy. His moves were fast, too fast for the eye to follow. Every hit was powerful, every step calculated. Suddenly, Michael paused. He tilted his head, as if he heard something. The girls froze. Did he hear them? Michael turned his head slightly. His eyes scanned the room slowly, but he said nothing. He picked up his shirt, put it back on, and walked toward the exit. The girls scrambled behind a storage tank. Michael stopped at the door. Without looking back, he spoke softly but clearly. "I know you're there." The girls' hearts pounded. For a moment, no one moved. Then he added, "Don't be afraid, but don't lie to me either. You saw what you weren't meant to see," and with that, he walked out and the door closed behind him. The girls stood in silence. Their hearts were racing. Their minds were full of questions. Who was this human? Why was he locked away in secret? And most of all, why did his body make them feel fear and wonder? Something was different about him. something powerful, and they had just opened a door that could change everything. The shirtless human. The next morning, the academy buzzed with strange energy. Rumors spread fast, faster than starships. Some said the human was dangerous. Others whispered he had metal under his skin. But only 3 alien girls knew the truth. Leah, Sierra, and Vexa had seen everything. They had seen the human boy, Michael, bare, his body inside the forbidden room. They had seen his power, his scars, and his strength. And now, they could not stop thinking about it. I can still hear his heartbeat in my ears, Vexa whispered, her silver veins glowing faintly. He knew we were there, Sierra added, but he let us go. He wasn't angry, Leah said. That's what scares me. In the combat arena later that day, the alien students gathered for a training demo. Every species had to show their skills. Some flew, some used fire, some moved shadows with their hands. Then it was Michael's turn. The crowd went quiet. Michael stepped onto the field, calm and confident. He didn't have armor, no weapon, just a black undershirt and quiet eyes. Is he going to sing us a song? One student mocked. But Michael did not respond. He simply removed his shirt again, just like the night before. A ripple moved through the crowd. Aliens blinked in confusion. Some giggled, some gasped. Why is he undressing? Does his kind fight naked? His body was the same as they remembered, strong, scarred, and real. But this time he wasn't alone. He was being watched by hundreds. Michael walked to the dummy in the center and tapped a button. The dummy turned red, activating defense mode. In a flash, Michael attacked. His fist hit the dummy's shoulder with a crack. A second hit to the knee, a third to the neck. He moved like wind and fire, fast, silent, unstoppable. In under 10 seconds, the dummy dropped, smoking and sparking. The crowd was silent. One teacher whispered, "He just destroyed a combat model built for 3 attackers." Michael didn't bow. He didn't speak. He simply turned, picked up his shirt, and walked off the field. After the session, chaos broke out. What kind of species is this? Did you see his spine shift mid-punch? Is that natural, or was he enhanced? The alien girls slipped out of the crowd and hid behind the large support beam near the side of the arena. Leah whispered, "He held back." "What do you mean?" asked Sierra. I saw his eyes. He could have done more, but he chose not to. They all looked at each other. The human boy wasn't just strong. He was controlled, dangerous but calm, like a storm with a leash. That night, Vexa couldn't sleep. She left the sleeping pod quietly and walked toward the forbidden room again. She didn't know why. Maybe to understand him more. Maybe to feel the fear again. The hallway was empty. She placed her hand on the door. It opened. She stepped inside. The lights blinked to life. The glass tubes hummed. The walls still showed human body scans, bones, nerves, heart, and lungs. But there was something new, a floating hologram above the main table. She walked closer. It showed a battlefield. Humans, dozens of them, wearing black armor. Fighting larger aliens, stronger ones, but the humans didn't run, they won. One human, his face hidden behind a helmet, rushed through fire, pulled an alien commander from behind a shield, and knocked him unconscious with 3 punches. Then, the helmet came off. Vexa's breath caught in her throat. It was Michael. She didn't hear the door open again, but she felt someone behind her. "It's not a secret anymore, is it?" said a voice. She turned. Michael stood there, calm. Vexa lowered her head. "I'm sorry, I had to see more." "I know," he said. "You're not the first to look. You fought in a war?" He nodded. "Why are you here in a school?" Michael looked at the floating battlefield. His voice was quiet. "Because I want peace now." Vexa looked at him, not with fear, but something else. "Does your body hurt after all those battles?" "Sometimes," he said. "But pain doesn't scare humans." What does? Michael gave her a strange look. Loneliness, he replied. That's the only thing that truly hurts us. Vexa stepped back slowly. Her heart was beating fast. This human wasn't just muscle, he had a soul, a past, a reason. I should go, she said. Michael nodded. I won't stop you. But next time, ask. You don't need to sneak. As Vexa left the room, one thought filled her mind. What else were they wrong about when it came to humans? And more importantly, what would the Academy do if they knew what Michael really was? The secret spreads the next day at Valari Academy was different. Whispers followed Michael wherever he walked. Students didn't laugh anymore. They didn't mock his soft skin or small size. Now they stared. Some looked afraid. Some looked curious. A few looked fascinated. The truth was leaking out bit by bit. Some said he had destroyed a combat dummy in seconds. Others said he had fought in wars. One rumor even claimed that Michael's bones were made of metal and that he could heal instantly. No one knew where the story started, but everyone was talking. Vexa, Sierra, and Leah sat alone in the garden dome. It was usually full of noise. Today, even the birds were quiet. I think I made a mistake, Vexa said softly. What do you mean? Sierra asked. I went into the forbidden room again. I activated a hologram, a battle recording. I saw him fight. You saw Michael fight? Leah whispered. Real war? Vexa nodded. He looked like death. Quick, cold, and he wasn't angry. He was calm, like he had done it many times before. The girls didn't speak for a while. They could hear other students walking nearby talking about the human. Do you think he'll hurt someone? Leah asked. No, Vexa said quickly. He doesn't want to. He's tired of war. But what if the teachers find out? Sierra said. What if they're hiding something about him? In the staff chamber, the headmistress slammed her clawed hand on the table. Who opened room 17B? She growled. None of the other instructors answered. A thin alien with 4 eyes spoke. The human boy has made too much noise. His strength is attracting attention. He is here to learn, said another. He hasn't hurt anyone. Yet, the headmistress replied coldly. Do not forget what humans did in the Galactic War. What do you suggest? We must remind the students of our rules, especially about trust. Her yellow eyes glowed. And we must keep Michael under watch. Later that night in the mess hall, the air was tense. Michael sat alone at the far end of a long metal table. His food tray was untouched, around him silence. Students whispered from a distance, but no one sat near. Then something unexpected happened. Vexa walked over and sat beside him. Michael looked at her, surprised. You're not scared? He asked. Terrified, she admitted. But also, curious. Michael gave a soft smile, then asked, Why did you come here, Michael? To a school full of aliens? He looked down at his hands. His knuckles had scars. Old ones. Because I wanted to understand, he said. Back on Earth, we only see aliens as enemies or strangers. I came here to see something different. You could have lied, she said. Hid your strength. I did, he replied. But someone saw too much. She blushed slightly. That someone was me. Michael laughed quietly. It's okay. Maybe it was time. The next morning, a surprise announcement echoed through the halls. All students are required to attend a special history lecture in the main hall. Vexa, Sierra, and Leah arrived early. The place was packed. The headmistress stood tall on the EUE podium. Today's lesson, she began, is about the human species and what they once did. Behind her, a massive screen lit up. It showed images of war, explosions, cities burning, human soldiers in dark suits, eyes cold, weapons glowing. Some students gasped, others covered their faces. This is what humans did. the headmistress said sharply. They conquered, destroyed, took what they wanted. Then, the final image appeared. It was Michael, in battle, helmet off, face bruised, eyes locked on, something distant. The room went silent. Students turned to look at him. Michael didn't move. His face was calm, unreadable. After the session, Michael walked out alone. No one dared follow, but the girls found him sitting near the training field. You didn't deny it, Leah said. I can't, Michael replied. It's all true. I was trained to kill. I fought in the war when I was just 14. Sierra sat beside him. But you're not that person now. Am I not? He asked, looking at his hands again. You saved that training dummy from becoming a pile of wires, Vexa said. You could have shown off, but you didn't. You held back. Michael didn't answer. Then he stood up and looked toward the sky dome. I just wanted a place where I could be normal, he said. But maybe I was never meant to be. In the shadows, a small camera blinked red. Someone was watching. And they weren't happy. The humans' hidden power 3 days passed since the history lecture. But the images of Michael, the human warrior, still lived in every mind at the Valari Academy. He didn't speak much. He didn't defend himself. He didn't try to explain. And somehow that silence made the fear grow stronger. Instructors began whispering to each other. Some wanted Michael removed. Others wanted to test him. But no one dared approach him directly, except the 3 girls. Vexa, Leah, and Sierra still watched him closely, but now, not out of fear. Something had changed inside them. They had seen more than just power. They had seen restraint. They had seen sadness. And they had seen something no one else wanted to admit. Michael was not just a weapon. He was a boy trying to be more than what he was made for. That night, the Academy's power grid flickered. Lights blinked across corridors. Security bots froze in place. Students looked up from their studies. Some thought it was a test. Others panicked. Then, the sirens howled. Warning, unknown ship has landed near Sector 9. Vexa's eyes widened. Sector 9 was only 2 levels above the human dorm. The girls ran out into the hallway. Doors opened. Teachers shouted. Some guards ran toward the docking platforms. But Michael walked the other way. Vexa spotted him heading toward a maintenance lift. Michael, she called. He turned his head slowly. His face was serious. You shouldn't follow me, he said. Why? Leah asked, catching up. What's happening? They're not here for the Academy, he said. They're here for me. The lift opened, and without another word, Michael stepped inside. The doors closed. The girls looked at each other and did what no alien would dare. They took the next lift up. In Sector 9, the air was thick with smoke. A black ship with red markings had torn through the bay doors. Strange armored beings climbed out. Fast, silent, trained. They weren't pirates. They weren't raiders. They were hunters. The lead alien, tall and wrapped in dark armor, raised a hand. Locate the Earthborn, he growled. Alive. Michael stepped into the open, unarmed. I'm right here, he said. The aliens turned toward him like hungry beasts. You don't have to do this, Michael said calmly. You ran from your duty, the leader hissed. You betrayed your creators. I chose peace, Michael answered. Then you chose death. The aliens charged. Michael stood still, and then the floor cracked beneath his feet. Vexa, Sierra, and Leah arrived just in time to see it. Michael moved. He spun past the first attacker, landed a punch to the gut that sent the creature flying across the corridor. Another alien tried to grab him. Michael ducked, swept his legs, and struck the side of the neck with lightning speed. In under 10 seconds, 3 enemies were on the floor. The fourth pulled out an energy blade. Michael grabbed a fallen metal pipe. Sparks flew as the weapons clashed. He was dancing a dangerous, deadly dance, and he wasn't even sweating. The leader stepped forward. His eyes glowed red. You were made for war, Earthborn. This kindness of yours, it's weakness. Michael looked at the fallen aliens, No, this restraint is strength. The leader snarled and lunged. Michael didn't dodge this time. He blocked. His arms took the full impact. The corridor shook. The fight grew faster, louder. Vexa's breath. God, he's still holding back. Sierra blinked. Why? Leah understood first. Because he doesn't want to kill. After a brutal clash, Michael managed to disarm the leader. He held the metal pipe near the alien's throat, but didn't. Strike. Leave, he said. Now. The alien glared at him. You'll regret this, human. I already do. With that, the invaders retreated. Later, in the medical bay, Michael sat on the edge of a bed. His hands were bruised. His eyes were tired. The girls stood beside him. Why didn't you end him? Vexa asked. You could have. Michael looked at his reflection in the glass wall. Because every time I kill, I lose a part of myself. And I'm already missing too many pieces. The girls were silent. He continued. Back home, they trained us to be perfect fighters. We were tools. I escaped. I didn't want to be a weapon anymore. I came here hoping maybe I could just be a person. You are, Leah said quietly. You're more than a weapon, Sierra added. Vexa reached out, touched his hand. You're the bravest person I've ever met. Michael gave a small, tired smile. That might be the kindest thing anyone's ever said to me. But in the shadows of the academy, someone else had been watching. A hidden figure, cloaked in light bending, armor whispered into a comm device. Earthborn confirmed, stronger than expected. Inform the High Council, prepare for capture. Michael's warning. The academy returned to silence. No one spoke of the attack. No news report was made. No alarms went off again. But something had changed. The walls felt colder, the teachers more watchful, and Michael more distant. In the days after the invasion, Michael didn't train. He didn't join meals. He barely spoke to anyone. The students avoided him again, this time out of quiet respect. They had seen his power. They had seen his control. But they hadn't seen what it cost him. In her private study pod, Vexa sat thinking. She stared at the glowing stars outside the glass window. Her mind was full of questions. Why did Michael stop fighting? What was he afraid of, and why? Did she feel like something worse was coming? That evening, she found him alone again, just like before. He was in the same place, near the old training field under the wide glass dome that showed the stars. Michael sat with his back against the wall, his eyes closed. Vexa walked over and sat next to him quietly. For a while, they said nothing. Then, Michael spoke. They're not done. They'll be back. Vexa's heart skipped. The hunters? Michael nodded. They were scouts, testing me, measuring my strength. Why? To see if I'm still useful. Vexa didn't know what to say. Michael opened his eyes and looked at the stars. I was part of Project Earthborn, he said. Humans selected at birth, trained, modified, turned into living weapons. There were 12 of us. 12? She whispered. I'm the only one who escaped. He leaned his head back, looking tired. I wanted peace, he said. I wanted to believe this academy could be a place where I'd be more than a blade. You are more, Vexa said. You saved lives. Michael shook his head. But I also brought danger here. Because of me, this school is a target. She grabbed his hand. Then let us help. You don't understand, he said, voice quiet but sharp. If they come back and I fight again, I might lose myself. Then we won't let you fight alone. That same night, Leah and Sierra joined them. They listened quietly as Michael told them everything. The program, the escape, the experiments, the pain. Leah asked, If you're so dangerous, why didn't they just kill you? Michael smiled bitterly. Because to them, I'm too valuable. They don't want me dead. They want me controlled. And what will they do if they catch you? Sierra asked. Michael's voice turned cold. They'll break me again. piece by piece, until there's nothing left of the boy you know. Suddenly, a soft beep sounded from Michael's wristband. He looked down. A red signal blinked, a warning, a breach. Michael stood up fast, his eyes sharpened. They're already here. The girls followed him as he rushed down the halls. Red lights began blinking in sequence, one by one, as if something was moving through the academy's underground levels. Michael tapped a panel and pulled up the academy's security map. Look, he pointed. They're inside the tunnel near the data core. What are they doing? Leah asked. Trying to steal something. Maybe plans, or worse, records of the students. They're not just after me now. Without waiting, Michael ran. The girls followed, down the silver stairs, through echoing corridors, into the deep lower level where almost no student ever went. The air was colder here, the lights flickered, and then they found him. A single figure, in a hooded cloak standing near the glowing data pillar. The figure turned. Its face was hidden, but the voice was familiar. Still protecting others, Earthborn. You never change. Michael stepped forward slowly. You're supposed to be dead. The figure removed the hood. It was a girl, human, with steel gray eyes and black markings across her face. I'm not dead, she said. Just forgotten, Vexa whispered. Is she one of you? Michael nodded slowly. She was number 7. The girl smiled. You chose peace, Michael. I chose purpose. And now I serve those who know what we're really worth. They'll break you, he said. She shrugged. I already was. Michael's eyes narrowed. Leave. Now. You won't stop me, she said. He stepped closer. Try me. She laughed and vanished. A hologram. Suddenly, explosions rocked the academy above. Michael's wristband blinked red again. They're attacking from 2 sides, he said. One team was just a distraction. He looked at the girls. I have to face them. You won't do it alone, Vexa said firmly. Michael shook his head. You're students, not soldiers. And you're a soldier who doesn't want to fight, Leah replied. Let us balance that, Sierra added. We don't need weapons to stand beside you. Michael paused and smiled. Then stay close. Don't fall behind. The human weapon, the explosions shook the walls of Valari Academy. Bright red flashes lit up the night sky above the dome. Alarm sirens screamed through the corridors. Panic spread like fire. Students ran. Doors sealed. Defense bots scrambled into position. But deep down, everyone knew. The real shield was Michael. Michael sprinted through the main hall with the 3 alien girls close behind Vexa, Leah, and Sierra. He wasn't shouting orders or showing fear. His mind was focused. His steps were precise. He didn't carry a weapon. He didn't need one. Near the docking bay, alien hunters in black armor were already breaking through. Their red visors glowed. Their claws cut through walls like paper. Behind them floated strange machines. Recorders, collectors, scanners. They weren't here to fight. They were here to take. The headmistress barked commands through the academy speakers. Defend the central vault, protect the students. But the guards were outnumbered. The academy was a school, not a battlefield. Michael reached the front line. He stopped. He didn't speak. He removed his shirt. Again. His body had healed quickly. The scars were faint but still there. His arms glowed faintly from the implants beneath his skin. His chest rose slowly as he took a deep breath. And then, he charged. The first hunter raised a shock spear. Michael ducked, slid forward, and slammed, his palm into the alien's chest. Crack. The hunter flew backward, crashing into 3 others. Another attacker came from the side. Michael twisted midair, kicked off the wall, and struck the alien's jaw with the back of his heel. Thud. Vexa and the others watched from cover. He's not just fast, Sierra whispered. He's dancing. He's calculating every angle, Leah said. He sees things before they happen. Vex's heart pounded. He's holding back again. Behind the battle line, the same hooded human girl from before appeared. Her real body this time. Number 7. She watched Michael fight. Her eyes were cold, but her voice was full of quiet awe. They still can't match you, Michael. You really are the best weapon they made. Michael didn't look at her. He tore through 2 more enemies with smooth, clean moves, never overusing strength, never wasting breath. Then he turned toward her. I'm not your weapon. She stepped forward. You're not theirs either, but you will be mine. She raised a hand, and the hunter machines activated. They surrounded Michael with electric fields and magnetic chains. Blue energy crackled around his arms and legs. He dropped to one knee, gritting his teeth. Michael, Vexa shouted. Stay back, he growled. They'll trap you too. But she didn't listen. Vexa rushed forward and threw a piece of broken metal at one of the machines. It hit hard, sparking, and gave Michael just a second of freedom. He used it well. With a growl, Michael pushed off the floor and tore the energy chains free from his arms. Sparks flew from his skin. Then, he roared, not like a beast, but like a human who refused to be broken ever again. With his full strength unlocked, Michael's movements changed. They weren't smooth anymore. They were violent. Each punch shattered armor. Each kick sent metal flying. His bones cracked with every impact but healed as fast as they broke. He was becoming the very thing he feared. The human weapon. Number 7 smiled faintly. Yes, that's the version we need. Vexa ran to his side. Michael, stop. He froze mid-motion, his fist inches from another attacker's throat. His breathing was hard, his eyes wild. Please, Vexa whispered. Come back to us. Michael blinked and lowered his hand. I'm still here, he said softly. The other hunters saw it. Their leader panicked. He's not at full rage. Retreat, now! They ran. The machines followed, and the academy was left in ruins but still standing. The battle was over. Michael dropped to his knees. Vexa, Sira, and Leah ran to him. His hands were bleeding. His chest was covered in bruises, but he was alive, and more importantly, himself. You didn't lose control, Sira said. You stopped, Leah added. Vexa nodded. You came back to us. Michael looked at them, his voice shaking. I almost didn't. That night, the academy staff met in secret. Some wanted Michael expelled. Others wanted him honored. The headmistress said only one thing. Let him choose what he wants to be. Far away, Number 7 stared at a hollow screen showing Michael's face. You held back. Again. She clenched her fists. But next time I'll make you choose me, or break forever. The girl's choice. The academy halls were quiet again, but the silence no longer felt peaceful. Walls were cracked, lights flickered, the training rooms were sealed. Students spoke in hushed voices, avoiding the place where the battle happened. But all of them, every single one, were thinking about the same thing, the human. Michael stayed away from everyone after the fight. He didn't return to his classes. He stopped walking the halls. Even during meals, his seat in the far corner remained empty. He spent most of his time in the garden dome, sitting by the crystal fountain with his back to the world. He didn't speak. He didn't train. He just waited. Vexa, Leah, and Sira watched him from afar for 2 days. He hasn't smiled since the fight, Sira whispered. He blames himself, Leah said. Vexa clenched her fists. He saved us. He saved all of them. And still, they treat him like a weapon. No, Leah said. They're just afraid. They've never seen anything like him before. But fear shouldn't erase the truth, Vexa replied. And someone needs to remind him what he really is. That night, the girls made a decision. They walked into the garden dome together. Michael didn't turn when they approached. Vexa knelt in front of him. You don't have to hide. I'm not hiding, he said quietly. I'm trying to protect you. From me. You didn't hurt anyone, Sira said. Not a single life was lost because of you. You stopped when you could have destroyed. Them all, Leah added. Isn't that proof you're still human? Michael looked at the stars through the glass dome above. They wanted me to become a weapon again, he said. And I almost did. I felt it, the old rage inside me. But you didn't give in, Vexa said. You had the power, and you chose mercy. He was silent for a long moment. Then he said, You saw what I can do. The staff saw it. The students. No one wants to be near me anymore. That's not true, Vexa said. She stood up, turned around, and gestured toward the hallway. And to Michael's shock, dozens of students stood there, watching, waiting. One by one, they stepped into the dome. A winged alien boy placed a book beside Michael. You saved my sister, he said softly. A girl with purple skin laid flowers near him. You covered me during the explosion. Others offered drawings, notes, and even food. They didn't speak much, but their eyes said everything. They no longer feared him. They respected him. Michael looked down at the small pile of gifts, then back at the three girls. Why did you come back? He asked. You could have stayed away. Like the others, Vexa smiled. Because we made our choice. You're not a monster, Leah said. You're not just a soldier, Sira added. You're ours now, Vexa finished. Our friend. Our hope. Michael stood slowly. He looked around at the students gathered in the dome, at the gifts they left, at the trust they offered. For the first time in days, he smiled. A real warm smile. Maybe I do belong here after all. Later that night, in the empty control room, the headmistress watched the dome's security footage. Michael, standing among aliens who once feared him, the three girls by his side. She turned to the teachers beside her and spoke. Let him stay. Let him teach. Far beyond the stars, on a ship cloaked in darkness, Number 7 stared at the same footage with narrowed eyes. You think you're free, Michael, she whispered. You think they love you now. She turned off the screen. But, when the council calls again, they'll see what you truly are. Back at the academy, Michael stood at the edge of the training field the next morning, but he wasn't alone anymore. Students stood behind him, ready to learn. And beside him stood Vexa, Leah, and Sira. His voice was strong. Let's begin. He wasn't just a weapon anymore. He was a leader, a friend, a human who chose compassion over destruction, and in a galaxy full of fear and power, he was hope. The end.